And meanwhile, the incoming New South Wales opposition leader has been announced today. Mark Speakman has won that vote. And Mark Speakman joins me now live for his first interview since that appointment this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on Afternoon Agenda. Firstly, how tight was the vote for leader? Is the party united behind you?
Well, in the Liberal Party, we encourage competition. We're not the puppets controlled by trade union masters. We have robust competition. We're individuals. That's a good thing. We've had that in the party room today. I've emerged as the leader, and I'm confident that I will lead a united team that will bring constructive policies to the people of New South Wales between now and 2027.
So under your leadership, how will the party win the next election?
Well, I think we've left New South Wales in a pretty good shape. We transformed infrastructure, roads, schools, hospitals, public transport, police stations, right across New South Wales over the last 12 years. Record investments in frontline services. So we have had a solid record to leave this state in. We'll be developing policies over the next months and so to bring to the people of New South Wales. But not only are we looking to be a competitive, sensible, credible alternative government in 2027, but to do our best to be constructive and to help shape policy and outcomes in the Parliament in the meantime. The new Labor government in New South Wales is in a minority in the lower house and in the upper house. It will have to work with us, the Liberals and Nationals, and with the crossbench to get legislation through. And we want to be a constructive contributor to that legislative process.
So you've got 4 years to turn things around. In your press conference earlier, you spoke about the need to modernise the party. What does that look like to you, and how will you do this?
Sure. Well, look, I think our fundamental philosophy and our fundamental values are sound. They have stood the test of time and served Australia and New South Wales very well over the last 122 years. Those values of aspiration, of opportunity, of encouraging effort, reward for effort, are values that have driven Australia. But we've got to make sure that those values and the presentation of those values engage with young people, with women, with people from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds, that we are environmentally conscious, we're a government that upholds integrity in government, but all those things are compatible with and really can be driven by conservative and liberal values. So that's the challenge, to make sure that our values and the policies we develop from those values speak to modern Australia and modern New South Wales.
How difficult is that going to be, though? It's clear that the Liberal Party as a whole across the country is having issues getting those messages across to voters. So how will you do this?
Well, look, it's not going to be dealt with overnight. It'll be a slow and steady process. But over the next term, we will develop policies that will engage with young people. We've got a housing affordability issue in New South Wales, rental affordability, environmental issues. They're issues that young people are interested in. We want to engage with them. We are a government that has had a very strong record on empowering women, with universal preschool by 2030, which is particularly important to women who are more often than not the primary child carers. A childcare expansion, incredible initiatives in women's safety. They're the sorts of initiatives we think we can engage women with, but we will work very hard over the next while to engage women, engage culturally and linguistically diverse groups, young people as well. And yes, it's 4 years away. Yes, we've lost an election, but we can win in 2027. But to do that, we have to focus on the people of New South Wales and persuade them that we are the best placed team to deliver positive outcomes.
In terms of the representation of women, you said earlier that you don't support quotas. Why? Well,
I think our position has improved significantly since the last election. We went into the last election with only 28% of our party room female. We're now at 42%, so the trajectory is heading in the right direction. I would never rule out quotas or some kind of intervention if it came to that. And where we were sitting at 28%, I think things may have required that. But if this trajectory continues and we continue to increase beyond 42%, I don't think we need quotas at the moment.
What's your position on a voice to Parliament?
Well, I'm not going to make a captain's call on that. I've only been the leader of the Liberal Party for several hours. It's important that I talk to my colleagues about that. and at the earliest opportunity, we will have that discussion and form any position we might take on the voice.
But what's your personal position? Do you support it or not?
Well, that's something I will discuss in the first instance with my colleagues, and then I'll say something about that and something about the party's position on the voice. But at the moment, it's important to have that consultation and not, in my first few hours, make some kind of captain's call.
Okay. But you don't have a personal position at this point?
Well, what I may or may not think, I'm going to, in the first instance, discuss with colleagues, and then we'll see whether there is a party position that may be developed. But I'll certainly have something to say about that down the track.
So confirming, will you lead the party to the next election? This is it. You are going to be leader in 4 years' time. The people will vote for you.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to be a place warmer for someone else. I am here to be constructive and collaborative with the government, with the crossbench, but to lead our party to victory in 2027. And it can be done. It's a long time since you've had a one-term government in New South Wales, but we've seen in the last 10 years one-term governments in Victoria, in Queensland, in South Australia. So I think the electoral cycle is accelerating. Here in New South Wales, we have as many MPs in the lower house as Labor did in 2019. We were in majority government in 2019. They are in minority government already. So it can be done. We are within striking distance. But at the end of the day, we are going to have to develop the policies, and we've got the team to do it, to demonstrate to the people of New South Wales that they will be better off under a Liberal national government.
How will your leadership differ to that of Dominic Paradise?
Well, look, in one sense, that's for others to judge. We're all different personalities, but I certainly want to emulate Dominic's preparedness to be policy-driven, not to be a small target, but to be policy-driven, to be constructive, to be robust. There, I think, qualities that Dominic demonstrated in heaps. And I, as the opposition leader, don't want to be someone who's just saying no all the time. Where we do want to say no, and where there's a reason to say no, we'll say so. But where we can be constructive and collaborative, we'll do that as well. So I want to have a set of policies with a great team to take in 2027. But in the meantime, I want to make as many constructive contributions as we can in a hung parliament in both the lower and the upper house.
All right, just finally, you've got a vote for deputy coming up soon. Who would you like to see as your deputy?
Well, look, that's a matter for the party room. We decided today to postpone that vote. At the moment, upper house members are ineligible under our party rules to be the deputy leader. It's limited to lower house members. On the 8th of May, we'll consider a motion to open it up to upper house members as well, and then depending on the outcome of that, we'll have a ballot for the deputy leader.
New South Wales Opposition Leader Mark Speakman. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.